I decided to record my process of writing every day for 2 hours until the first draft of my book is completed. The first day I had a day off work, so I wrote for 4 hours instead. I managed to write 2016 words, and I completed the 16th chapter and made some changes to the 11th chapter so that things would make more sense. The thing is, I had already written these chapters a few months ago, but I found myself stuck in a place where basically the climax happened too soon. So now I am rereading my chapters and trying to find the place where I can expand my story. In the 16th chapter, my characters are trapped somewhere, and I had initially made them escape too soon. And although I was now considering letting them stay trapped for longer, I noticed that I keep finding ways for them to escape. On the second day, I wrote 572 words. I rewrote from the beginning the 17th chapter, and I was not satisfied with it at all. I did feel a little bit of satisfaction for completing this chapter, but I was still quite dissatisfied. I thought that my protagonist seemed quite weak, but considering the circumstances around her, it's not possible that she can do anything more than what she already does in order to escape. Third day, today, I wrote for 2 hours, and most of that time I was trying to figure out what was wrong with the 17th chapter. I keep thinking that Irene's character is weak. The false belief that I have created for her is, I think, not very good for a protagonist to have. She basically views her existence as a burden to others, but at the same time she cannot survive on her own because she has this irrational fear of being alone. She has basically learned to survive by serving others, and after a very traumatic incident in her life, she was raised by a terrorist organization. So her life's purpose was pretty much predestined. In spite of all that, I did try to work on the 18th chapter. This chapter was already written from months ago. I hardly did any changes in this chapter, and I am still very dissatisfied, both with the 18th and the 17th chapters. On the fourth day, I wrote for 1 hour because I decided to edit this video, and this took me a long time and the video was still not completed. But the thing is, the real reason that I wrote just for 1 hour is because I had a great difficulty continuing with my story. And I also realized that the way I had written things in the 15th chapter were quite unrealistic. And again, my protagonist was weak. She didn't act. Things were happening to her, but she didn't have the resolve to do something and to change her situation. On the fifth day, I wrote for 15 minutes because I was watching a TV show all day. I am not proud of that, and I actually decided to stop watching any TV shows until I finished the first draft of my book. On the sixth day, I made some small changes to the 15th and the 14th chapters that I switched their order, and I actually completed the 16th chapter, or I should say I rewrote the 16th chapter after rewriting it again with some more changes that made more sense to the story. On the 7th day, which is actually a day I am proud of, I didn't have time to write during the day before I went to work, and I started work at 4 p.m. until 12 a.m. But I wanted to do these 2 hours of writing, so when I came back, I wrote. And I slept at 3 a.m. On that day, I kept working on the 17th chapter. And I actually finished writing at the moment that there was suspense. So the next day, which is today, the 8th day, I woke up very excited in order to continue my story. But I will not tell you how much and what I wrote today, because I will keep this information for next week's video. I enjoy documenting my writing process every week. This is an experiment, a way to keep myself accountable, but also to realize my mistakes and what I do that doesn't encourage my writing process and my creativity. I have to admit that yesterday, when I wrote, after I came back from work, I feel like I overcame myself. I went above and beyond in order to achieve my goal. And as I've noticed in the past, when I was writing daily, I was also unemployed at the time, so I had the time to write. But when I wrote daily, I reached the point where the story just unfolded on its own, and I really didn't need to do anything. I was just recording the events that were happening to the characters and the way the characters reacted to them. I wasn't thinking of the story. The story was just unfolding in front of my eyes. But right now, I am still writing and trying to come up with things. I believe that I will reach again this point by writing every day. That's all about this week's writing progress. Thank you for watching this far. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more content. My name is Cassandra and I'm an aspiring fantasy author who lives in beautiful Greece. I am currently writing or rewriting the first draft of my first novel, and I already know what my second book is going to be about. But I am very excited about this story, and I am really looking forward to completing this book and publishing it.